My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for The Whale. Now, this is a movie I wasn't sure if I was actually going to see in theaters or not. It didn't really interest me. The only bit of marketing is the same picture, but it's Darren Aronofsky, and he's a fascinating filmmaker. It's also a comeback story for Brendan Fraser, so I gave it a try, and let's talk about it. First with the cast. Brendan Fraser. Everybody's saying he's amazing in this movie. It's one of the best performances of the year. And do I agree? No. No. Just, he's really good. He does everything the movie needs him to do. But it's not great if he wasn't wearing so much makeup. I don't think people would be as impressed with him. And also, it's just a case of comedic actor gives dramatic performance where he has to cry, so people tend to exaggerate on those kind of performances. Not saying he's bad here, he's good, but it's nothing special. Then you've got Sadie Sink, who I thought was terrific in Stranger Things season 4. Dear Billy, she's just phenomenal in really great actress. I was looking forward to see what she brings to this movie, and unfortunately, she's terrible. She's trying so hard to act like the moody teenager, and it never feels real or authentic. It feels so over the top and just borders on self-parody, if I'm being honest. Then you've got Hong Chow, who was great in The Menu last month. Really great performance. He or she's good. You've got Ty Simpkins, who I didn't even know was in this movie until I looked up the cast afterwards, and I'm just like, oh, the boy from Insidious. That's cool. He's fine. And then you've got Samantha Morton, who I actually think gives the best performance, even though she's only in one scene. So the cast it's a bit all over the place. The makeup in this movie is fantastic. You really buy that Brendan Fraser is this size. And it's big and it feels very real. So impressive makeup there, and I like how they highlight just how difficult life would be if you were that size. And whenever he's just munching on food, it's just really gross and uncomfortable to watch. So the movie does a good job there. So despite me liking a few things about it, I'm going to be honest, none of that matters because the rest of this movie is such a giant piece of shit. I hated this movie. Where to even begin? Well, let's begin with the main character, Charlie. I hated him. The movie looks up to him because he's empathetic on his last few days. And it's just like, well, all the evidence points that you've been a terrible, selfish person your entire life, and you only want to change now? Like, what a dick. I hated him. And everybody keeps telling him, oh, you should go to the hospital. And he's like, I don't want to go to the hospital. And it's just like, you are literally going to die any moment. Like, I just found him to be frustrating. I did not like him. I did not find that he was a kind soul to be aspiring to be like. No, this guy sucks. He's a terrible person. He destroyed his family for selfish reasons. And yeah, I just hated this main character. Then you've got Sadie Sink's character. Ellie is her name. I remember because I heard Ellie and I'm like, oh, Last of Us. But not Last of Us. The real Ellie. I hated this character. She was a raging bitch. Like, I understand she's a moody teenager, but she crosses a few lines in the way she talks to people, the way she blackmails people. It's just gross. Like, there was just a few lines that were crossed, and I'm just like, yeah, you're evil. I'm with the mom on this one. And there's a scene where one of the characters, Ty Simpson's characters, just like, oh my god, she did this and she did this, and it's supposed to be a pure feel-good moment, and you're just like, what am I watching here? Like, what? And that's just my biggest issue with the movie, is that I'm on a completely different wavelength like the entire time. Everything that the movie's trying to say and all the points it's trying to make, I think the complete opposite. They try to paint Charlie to be a sympathetic person. And it's just like, he's terrible. He's selfish. He's unhealthy. And it's just like, there's nothing to look up to. Just because you say a few kind words in your dying days doesn't resolve you of all your past sins. And I also hate the fact that this guy sabotages his family, and they introduce this point, and that the daughter's clearly affected by it, but they never go into the root of the problem. It's introduced, it's mildly talked about, but it's just like, if you're going to bring that up, then explore fatherless homes. But no, the movie isn't willing to do that. So I found that to be frustrating. I also found that because the movie took Charlie's side on him not going to the hospital, and because he's slowly killing himself, I feel like it was taking a pro-suicide approach, which I just fundamentally disagree with. I think it's very gross and disgusting. And no, like, yep, I hated that. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, well, let's talk about religion, because it's a Darren Aronofsky movie, so of course he has to bring up religion. And I think this movie does it in such an inauthentic manner that just uses emotional blackmail to try to make religion look as badly as possible. I'm not even a religious man, but if you're going to bring it up, be well-rounded, show both arguments in a interesting manner, and this movie doesn't. And this movie is actually all about how you should live as your authentic, honest self. And it's just like, yes, but you should also be better. You should also aspire to be better than you are, and try to be healthy, and try to be a healthy person, like physically and mentally. And the movie just, I don't like, it introduces all these talking points, but they don't really go into anything. Every theme is just brought up for a few seconds or a few minutes and then forgotten about. And I just think it's very uninteresting writing. Like, the best movies are when the characters and the story just encapsulates all of the ideas the movie is going for. And this movie doesn't do that. It's very on the nose and very uninteresting as a result. And it's just honestly the worst screenplay I've seen in, a very long time. Like, this movie just has a terrible script, and it's trying so hard to make you cry. And if you can't make this guy cry, your movie sucks. It's nowhere near as profound as it thinks it is, so it's just a desperate, hollow attempt. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually read about the movie's ending a few weeks ago, and I actually didn't believe it because it was so stupid. And then the movie ends, I'm like, shit, that thing I read was real. The last 5 minutes are just, oh my goodness, this movie sucks. It's a piece of shit. Look, like I said, some of the performances are good. The makeup, good. There's a few decent moments where they highlight the struggles of the main character, but I'm just on a completely different wavelength than this movie. I think the characters are all unlikable and selfish, and tries to paint them as just pure and good. It's just a mess of a movie. It's awful. It's boring as well. Like, it's contained to one apartment the entire time, and there was a point where I thought this movie was wrapping up, and nope, we still had another hour. Yeah, this movie sucks. 0.5 out of 10. Okay, did you see the whale out in the ocean? If so, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin, out.